Good to go. Let's do going live. And we are live. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. A very busy show ahead, looking at a lot of transfer news coming from various sources. We're looking at, of course, Mason Mount, Rasmus Højlund, Min Jae, and others. We have the latest on the Manchester United takeover, and as well, we'll also have a quick look at tomorrow's big match, the FA Cup final against Man City. So we are running. We're running in the poll in the comments. Will Manchester United win the FA Cup final tomorrow? Yes or no? So guys, get your votes in on that. So first comments in there from Lucky Singh saying, hi all, good to see you, man. Thank you very much for joining with us. As always, fantastic supporter of the channel. Really do appreciate all the support from yourself. So let's have a look at what's happening with Manchester United transfer news. So up first, of course, it's Mason Mount. Now, we can see in the comments, Fabrizio Romano has been speaking on United's potential signing of Mason Mount, and he has said personal terms for Mason Mount to Manchester United will not be a problem. United want to pay 45 to 50 million for him, but Chelsea are asking for at least 80 million pounds. Now, there will definitely be a bit of resolution to this, in my opinion. Absolutely no chance Mason Mount will come to United for 80 million pounds. You're talking about a player worth tops 50 million with a year left on his contract. I don't see that happening. United will not pay that much for Mason Mount. We can also see coming from Pete Boyle as well, talking about Manchester United's interest in Mason Mount. He has said Mason Mount to United will cost around 60 million if all goes through. So that is where we stand with Mason Mount at the moment. Now, of course, it came out the other night from various UK sources that United have agreed personal terms with Mason Mount. Now, those do seem to have been a little bit exaggerated. As always with transfers, it's important to look out for the real big hitters, the Fabrizio Romanos, the David Ornsteins of this world, because they will not go and jump early. You will have a lot of reporters coming out trying to get the big scoop, because if they go early and they're right, all of a sudden they look like a genius, and that is something to watch out for, and that's something we passionately believe on the channel. I will only bring you guys the news that I think is legit, and I will always say if something is a little bit ahead of itself, in my opinion. So yeah, I do definitely think there is talks for Mason Mount. I think United want him. I think he wants to come to United. Personal terms, I don't think they're agreed. In terms of a transfer fee, we're looking at around about 45 to 50 million according to Fabrizio Romano, and 60 million according to Pete Boyle as well. So that's in about the range where we think he would be worth. Now, we did run a poll on the channel, of course, whenever news came out that United were close to agreeing personal terms with Mason Mount, and you guys were voting on it. We asked you guys, of course, would you like to see Mason Mount at Manchester United? And currently, after 150 votes, we have 73% of you guys saying yes to Mason Mount. So, any thoughts on that, guys? Where do we stand with this? Would you guys like to see Mason Mount? Let me know in the comments as always. And of course, the poll is running. We can see you guys early on anyway are very confident of tomorrow's match. 92% are saying, Lucky Singh says, we sort out the money on a side deal. Yeah, I think we will sort the money out. According to various sources, we are actually seemingly quite ahead of ourselves in this transfer window. I think the club, I think the guys running it, Eric Ten Hag, I think they know it will be a difficult transfer window. Lucky Singh says, have we done personal terms yet? Now, that's just what we were briefly touching on there. So for anybody who wasn't aware, now this came out a couple of days ago, that first and foremost, Manchester United were very close to agreeing personal terms. Some reporters jump early. We always see this. If I come out on the channel and said United are signing Mason Mount tomorrow and we signed him on Sunday, I would look like a genius. I would look like I'm Fabrizio Romano. People will jump early on these sort of transfers, so we can only look at the good sources, the reliable people, and what they're saying. And when Romano says personal terms will not be a problem, I think that's where we stand. I think there might be an acceptance. Mason Mount might want to join United, and I think that's where Romano's getting that from. But I do think we are quite a while off yet with this transfer. I do think it will happen. I think this could be a deal that could be wrapped up pretty soon. And I think looking ahead in the next couple of weeks after the FA Cup final, it's the only United news is going to be transfer news and takeover news. That is where we will be going from. But I can see more people joining in. So keep voting on the poll, guys. Will United win the FA Cup? Big match tomorrow, of course. And We will look at that match in detail very, very soon on the show. Lucky Singh says it happens with every club. It does, absolutely. Every club, they have fake accounts on Twitter. You'll have people on YouTube doing videos as well saying that United are going to buy Neymar or Mbappe. It probably will not happen. If it does happen, they look really smart, like they know what they're talking about, and that's what those guys want. But yeah, I do think there is something in Mason Mount. I think he could bring something different to this United side. I think he could be a player Erik ten Hag is looking to bring in. Certainly does offer a lot more running, a lot more athleticism. He is a good player as well, but is he worth £80 million? No, I think if it comes down to it, it has to be the right sort of price. Kay is saying Sancho or Anthony. It's a good question. I think Sancho is a very, very good player. We can see his talent. We know what he can do. It's about getting it out of him. He needs to do more on the pitch for me. Anthony, I feel like he tries to do too much. I think you have two very opposite players. I think Sancho doesn't do enough, and Anthony tries to do too much. And I think if there's a balance to be found, if Sancho can start doing more on the pitch, or Anthony improves his decision making, stops taking stupid shots, I think he could be a very good player for United. Lucky Singh also says every transfer is different things. Yes, every transfer, of course, will be different as well. But for the most part, we do know that there will be made up rumours this summer. I think United have been linked to around about 60 players already this summer, an unbelievable total, and that's only going to grow. So, of course, we will bring you guys what we think will be the most realistic transfers, what we think will happen, and we do that by looking at the good sources. When Romano says United wants a player, he wants to come, then I think he does want to come. I think we can trust Fabrizio Romano. I don't think there's a lot of people we can trust on that. Mason Mount, okay, but not 80 million is terrible for Chelsea. Yes, I do agree with that as well. Definitely not 80 million pounds. I think 40, 45 is a pretty fair value for Mason Mount. And of course, I would like to quickly just talk on one thing as well, just when we're talking about Mason Mount, and that, of course, is that apparently Manchester United are willing to send Harry Maguire the other way. So is that a transfer you guys would like to see? If we got Mount and swapped Maguire for a bit of money as well. So we could take down the overall price of the transfer. Harry Maguire will be out of the club. I'm sure you guys would like that. And yes, on the poll as well, 94% of you guys are saying we're going to win the FA Cup tomorrow. So I do like your guys' optimism. So moving on from Mason Mount, we will look at a player who we are definitely after. Now, a lot of very good sources have come out with this information in the last couple of days, and especially today, we've seen a lot of big news coming out. Kay says, would Mount be good? I think he would be okay. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's £80 million. I don't think he's as bad as some people think either. I think there's probably better players we could get, but if Ten Hag wants him, I'm going to trust him. I think Ten Hag's transfer record has been very, very good, and if he thinks he can get a lot out of Mason Mount, then let's see what he can do. Has to be for the right amount of money. Lucky Singh says, let me just check that, man. Can we get 50 million, 57 million for Mount? We could get, I mean, maybe that could be a realistic sort of transfer fee. I hope it's not that high though. But talking about a player who definitely will be costing more than £50 million for Manchester United, and it is a striker. It's not a striker who we have been looking at too much on the channel, of course, and his name is Rasmus Højlund. So yes, Rasmus Højlund, a young striker from Atalanta, definitely making big waves in Italy. And what do we think about Rasmus Højlund? I think he's a very, very talented player, and there's a lot is coming out about Rasmus Højlund. So we'll start off, of course, with the big one. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Rasmus Højlund, and he has said that Atalanta would accept £16 million for Rasmus Højlund, and United are front of the queue to sign him. Where do we stand on Rasmus Højlund? I think he's a very, very talented player. Very young as well, only 20 years of age. Not the most amount of league gold. Do I think Rasmus Højlund could be a great player for United? Absolutely. I think he's got that potential. I think this would be a very smart signing. We're looking at a player who in the next 2 to 3 seasons is going to develop into a top level striker, all being well. Do I think we should be bringing him in as the only striker this summer? No. And I think that comes to something what we have said a lot on the channel. And you guys have said it as well. We want 2 strikers. If we get Hojlund and somebody else, that is fantastic business, because that means if you go get an experienced player, maybe 29, 28 sort of age range, you get a couple of good seasons out of them. Whenever they're ready to be moved on, we can then go for Hojlund. Lucky Singh says, fascinating young man, never seen him before. I think he is definitely fascinating. A player who I do want to watch more of. We did briefly touch on him on a previous show, and I think he definitely does have a lot of potential. Very, very good young player, and he really could come to United and offer something so different. I think something I really like about the guy is his pace. He is very, very quick, guys. Will be very good on the counter attack. He is strong, and his movement is very good. He knows where the back of the net is. And I always say, if a striker is scoring plenty of goals in Italy, I think they could be a very good buy, because the Italian league, it's more defensive. There isn't as much goals scored. So for somebody at 20 to go there and score a lot of goals this season, playing in his first season in the league, that's something to take note of. And I think Erik ten Hag is taking note of Rasmus Højlund. But on the price, Romano has said 60 million, no less. That is a lot of money to spend on a player who might not be ready to come to Manchester United, who might not yet have the maturity physically or mentally. But I think he could be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. And there's a lot coming out on Rasmus Højlund, of course. So according to Samuel Luckhurst, so Manchester Evening News, quite reliable, all things considered, not up there with Fabrizio Romano or anybody like that, but it is worth noting what Manchester Evening News are saying, because they do have they have links to the club. So Samuel Luckhurst has said Erik ten Hag has had multiple video calls with Rasmus Højlund. Ten Hag's agency as well, so his agent is trying to sign Rasmus Højlund as a client. So that means if that happens, there's a direct link between our manager and a player we want. And we've seen this last season, I believe, with Anthony and Lisandro Martinez. Very quick deals once United decided to pull the trigger. And that's what it's going to come down to. If we can be quick, we can go out and quickly get these players signed, then I think that's very good. Lucky Singh says, any striker, just know where the back of the net is crucial. Yes. I think goals are the big thing with this Manchester United team. If we can get a proper goal scorer in, somebody who's going to score 10, well, more than 10 ideally, 20 plus goals next season, I think that makes us a very, very dangerous team. And I think when you look at the amount of chances we create, I think Bruno Fernandes, one of the best creative players in all of Europe last season, not enough assists, and that's because we have Weghorst up front or we have Martial up front. Martial, he's okay, but he's always injured. Weghorst, he's not good enough. We bring in at least one good striker, I think we will be in a better position. Now, Erik ten Hag has said, and it's been quoted many times on the channel from the media, we've seen this everywhere, we don't just want one striker. Do I think we go and buy Harry Kane for 100 million and buy Hojlund for 60? I don't. But I do think that he could be a real option. Lucky Singh says, glad there's links. Talking fast, get it done. There is a lot of links, and United definitely are moving in the transfer market. There will be a lot of money spent at the club this season, for sure, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely feeling positive on that. So further on Rasmus Højlund, so he has told Atalanta he wants to leave. United are now speaking with Atalanta's chief executive, and they want 55 million. So this, it all is coming down to a pretty similar transfer fee. Whenever we see stuff like this coming out, that's when we know that negotiations are going on. So Graham Bailey, of course, has said this, and he has said that Rasmus Højlund has told Atalanta he wants to leave the club. United are now talking with Atalanta directly, and a transfer could be close. So where do we stand on this? I think certainly we will be getting close to signing our first couple of players this summer, and I think that's nothing but a good thing. I think if we can go and get a couple players in early doors, that definitely helps us out. We don't want to be running about we don't want to run about all transfer window looking after players, running after players until the very last day of the window. What we want is things done quickly, and that definitely helps Erik ten Hag out, because that means we can go, we can invest wisely, bring the players in, give them time to settle. I'm sure you guys remember last season when we bought Casemiro, when we bought Anthony, they came in so late in the transfer window that Casemiro didn't start his first match till we played Everton away in October. We can't have the same thing happen this season. We need to be well organised because teams around us are doing bits. Arsenal are very close. Signing Declan Rice. City will be spending money. Liverpool, they're getting Alexis McAllister. We have to be smart. We have to go for the throat of this window. We have to go out and get these players in as early as possible. That's what we have to do. No doubt in my mind about it. Lucky Singh says, tell Manchester United fan 2 strikers. Yes, we do. 2 strikers I think would be perfect. Do we get to? I'm not sure. I know Erik ten Hag wants to. That's what all the media are saying. That's what all the noise coming out from the club is saying. So there's people joining in. So welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to the stream. We are running a poll in the comments. Of course, massive match tomorrow. Manchester United versus Man City in the FA Cup final. United, we have to stop City winning a treble. So that's what we have to do. We have to go out and win tomorrow at all costs. So if you guys want to let me know, will United win? Get your votes in down below. Currently, 90% of you guys are saying yes. I am loving the confidence from you guys. Personally, I think we can do it. I think there is a way we can do it. I think in terms of what's going to go down tomorrow, I think City will definitely have all the ball. City will have a lot of possession. But I do think United can hurt them. We can get them on the counter-attack. We can get Rashford in behind, maybe Garnacho or Sancho, whoever is playing. We have to be smart. We have to work hard. And if we do that, work as hard as we can, cover the ground, don't let City dominate in and around our penalty box, we can win that match sure tomorrow. That's just my thoughts, but I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts as well. So get them into the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about tomorrow's big match. So Rasmus Højlund, a very good player, somebody who United definitely are interested in. I think we can see what Erik ten Hag is going for. We are going for younger players this window. Hojlund, 20. Mason Mount, 24. Min Jae, 25. We are trying to bring down the age of the squad, and I think that's nothing but a good thing. I think when we look at our key players, looking at Casemiro, 31. Eriksen, 31. De Gea, 32. Varane, 30. We need some younger players in here, some people who will be here for a long time, who can develop into something special. And I always say, I would rather United go out and buy a player right before they hit the big time, right before they get big and they're going to cost us a lot of money, because that's just smarter business. It's much easier to run your football club like that, and that's what I think United need to do. So, any more thoughts, guys? Get them into the comments, and we will, of course, move on to the next piece of transfer news. It's a big one. It's a centre-back. It's Min Jae. So, Min Jae, player who we have, of course, done a video on this week that is on the channel. If you guys want to check it out after, please feel free to do so. So Min Jae, according to Italian sources, Min Jae will have his farewell very soon. Napoli's clash against Sampdoria will be his last day at the club. United are leading the race. So this is coming from Italian sources. While Fabrizio Romano says United definitely want to sign Min Jae, I think what we can agree on is that there is potential in these Italian sources to have the inside scoop, to be closer to the ground. Romano, fantastic, so reliable, will only go and push out stories that he knows are definitely going to happen. So, Min Jae's Napoli farewell is confirmed. Napoli's clash against Sampdoria will be his last day at the club. I think Min Jae would be fantastic. I think a lot of you guys, you're very much for signing him, and I think for £40 million, the buyout clause, that's a deal we have to do. Lucky Singh says, I like that we're getting younger players, increase the fitness levels, and Lacanio as well. Good to see you back on the channel, man. I really appreciate all the support. Agreed, we need younger players. So, do United need younger players? Absolutely. I think a lot of our players, they are quite old, and I think when we're looking at playing so many matches, that was one of the big things for me. We basically ran out of momentum. We ran out of energy towards the end of the season. We had a run of matches. We drew against Spurs because we had no energy in the second half. Brighton beat us, of course. West Ham beat us. And then we had a week's break between matches. And then we won every match between then and the end of the season. So, what does that mean? It means that our players are still very good. Our team hasn't got worse. We just need more rest. So if we can give Casemiro a rest, give Eriksen a rest, Varane a rest as well, we will be in a better position for it overall. So that's my thoughts, guys. I can see more people joining in. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to the stream. If you guys want to get your thoughts in on the poll in the comments, Will Man United win the FA Cup? That's what we're asking you guys. Let me know your thoughts. At the moment, 91% of you guys are saying that we will win the FA Cup. I love the confidence. I would love us to win that FA Cup tomorrow. Lacanio says, is Newcastle after Min Jae as well? Yes, they are. So we have to act quickly. I think when you have a player of that standard, that level, available for £40 million, clubs will be all over them. And Newcastle, they will want to upgrade the level of their squad. They had a very, very good season, but make no mistake about it, their team is not Champions League level at this stage. Can they go on and have a big window? Yes, of course. Newcastle, they will spend a lot of money. Those talks of Newcastle going for Victor Osimhen today. Lucky Singh says, I am scared for tomorrow. I'm scared too. I think it will be a very interesting match. It could go either way. Make no mistake about it. City are very capable of beating us quite easily in this one, but we have to work hard. We have to stick together, and I think we can get the job done. So, with that in mind, guys, we're going to have a quick look at the match tomorrow. So, just let me get that up on here for you guys. And yes, we are up. Okay, so this, simply put, is the biggest match of the season. Big for many reasons. FA Cup final, big match. Let's end the season with a trophy. Another trophy would be absolutely fantastic, and Erik ten Hag really does deserve it, I think, in my opinion. Now, do I think we will win? I hope so. I think this is a team we have to do just that. I think we need to play this team. So I'm going David De Gea in net. No doubt in my mind. De Gea will start. So looking at the back line, has to be Dalot. I think Dalot in this match will be so important to get us up the pitch. I think Wan-Bissaka, very good option, and I could see us going for him, but I think United will try to hit City on the break, and we need Dalot because he's very good at playing the ball up the pitch. Centre-backs, they pick themselves. There will be no Harry Maguire. I'm sure you guys are happy with that. And Luke Shaw at left-back. Midfield, we have to work hard. So that's why I'm going for Fred and Casemiro and Eriksen. Now, Eriksen, his job will be to pick up the ball from Casemiro, Fred, and find the runners in behind. We've seen all season in big matches, Erik ten Hag has went for Bruno Fernandes on that right-hand side because he gives us that work rate. We will not be holding a lot of the ball in this match, and I think we have to be smart in this one. Rashford and Sancho, I'm going for those guys. I think possibly too big of a match to start Garnacho in. I think it's more fair to him. Bring him off the bench. His pace is fantastic. He can hurt Man City late on. Lucky Singh says Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden and Mahrez will start at some point tomorrow. Of course they will. Very, very good players, and Man City's depth is incredible. One thing we do have to look out for is City will be playing Stefan Ortega in this match. There will be no Ederson. Pep Guardiola has confirmed that today. They will be going for their backup keeper. Is that an opportunity for us? I hope so. I think so. I think Ortega's a good keeper. He's not as good as Ederson. So let's hope that we can make the most of that. Maybe he hasn't played the most amount of matches this season. Could be a little bit rusty. Let's hope that there will be some sort of advantage. I think as well, there was talk Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones, of course, were injured in City's last matches of the season. They will be back. It's just depending on fitness levels. Now, City will be difficult tomorrow. Make no mistake about it. And I do worry. I worry about Hojlund up against Victor Lindelof. I worry that we can get sucked into tackles. But I think that's a team we have to go for. I think when we see Aaron Wan-Bissaka in these big matches, quite often what happens is he can be dragged inside, go with the runners, and that leaves a lot of space. I think Dalot will hold his position that little bit better, and I think Dalot is the player we will be going for in this one. Overall, though, it will be a very difficult match. Make no mistake about it. I'm nervous. You guys are nervous. Will it be a fun match to watch? No, but will we care if we win the FA Cup, lift the trophy, and stop Man City winning the treble? Absolutely not. We will be very, very happy with that, and I'm sure you guys would agree with me. We do not care how we do it, so long as we win. That is the main thing for me. But yeah, guys, get your thoughts into the comments. We're running the poll at the moment. We can see 25 votes on it. And 92%. Lacanio says, my fear with Eriksen, he's not as physical as Fred. Players like Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri could outmuscle him and poach the ball. Absolutely. That's why I want to see Eriksen that little bit further forward. I think, don't be surprised if Erik ten Hag goes very pragmatic. We could potentially go Casemiro, Fred, and McTominay in this one, but I feel like that would just mean we are sitting back, fighting pressure on ourselves. Let's have Fred in there. I know his running will be good. I remember very well at Old Trafford, he did a great job on Kevin De Bruyne. He really followed him about the pitch all match long, and that made a big difference on the day. Let's see something similar in this one. The big thing is going to be keeping the ball off Hojlund. Now, City this season, um, what they have been doing, what they haven't done in previous seasons, is make the pitch really wide, put a lot of crosses in there. So that space between Luke Shaw and Victor Lindelof will be very important, because that's where Kevin De Bruyne likes to attack. He will get in there and cross the ball for Haaland. So Fred, he's going to have to cover that area of the pitch all match long. We cannot switch off for a second. Lucky Singh says, I'm just glad we made another final. Yes, honestly, me too. And I hope that we do win this match, because we need it. I think it will be brilliant for United. So good for us as a club to have won another trophy. And I think that's what we're going to have to try and do in this match. Try to beat City. Look, unfortunately, we are not at the level where we can go up against City and try to beat them by playing better. We have to be pragmatic. We have to be smart in this match. We have the players to hurt them. Let's do it. I mean, we've seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer go to the Etihad with Dan James, Rashford, and Martial, and he won. He won that match by being pragmatic, sitting back and counter-attacking. Do I think we should sit? Do I think we should step back and invite pressure on ourselves? No. But press at the right times, try to win the ball, and I think we can have a good match. Lucky Singh says, I'm not sure about fitness of Luke Shaw. I'm not sure either, but I think he will start this one. I think we've had over a week's break between matches, and I think that he will be ready to start this match. And I hope he does, because I think Luke Shaw is fantastic. I think so good, honestly, and it might come as a tactical surprise. Don't be too surprised if Luke Shaw plays centre back tomorrow, and we could go for Tyrell Malacia at left back. We did that at Old Trafford. It worked very well in that match. So, with that in mind, guys, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about the big one, the one you guys are always wondering about. I'm always wondering about. It's the Manchester United seal. It's a takeover once again. So let me just fire up the overlay for that. So yes, in terms of the oh, that's contract. No, sorry, I don't seem to have my overlay up for this. Really annoying me. But let me just quickly fix that. So in terms of the takeover, where do we stand at the moment? Now, there's not too much development, but there is an interesting detail, and I think you guys Okay, I think it's back. Apologies for that, guys. The voice was gone. I don't know what happened there. So I've been having audio issues all week. I think it's like a connection thing. So apologies for that. We are back. And I'm not going to change the scene because I think it is working now. So, all things considered, where do we currently stand on the takeover? So last time the Glazers were here, of course, we knew a bid went in very quickly from Sheikh Jassim. Now this came almost immediately after the Women's FA Cup final. Do I expect to see something similar in this one? Let me just do that. Yeah, I think something similar could definitely happen in this one. I am quickly just going to try to refix that. Sound is back. Thanks, guys, for letting me know about that, because I honestly did not know what was happening. Let me just stick the filters back on. Noise suppression. Honestly, guys, technical issues will be the death of me, guys. I swear. How's the audio now? Is it working for you guys? Can you hear me? Okay, I think that we are good to go. That. There we go. So that looks like normal. Apologies for that. That is my bad. So on the takeover, of course, it came in after the last FA Cup final for the women's team. What happened was the Glazer family stayed with Sheikh Jassim and his family in a hotel that they owned in London. From there, the bid went in. Now, could something similar happen? I think it could. Now, regarding the takeover, we do have a little bit of news for you guys. So this is according, of course, to Jimmy Jackson of The Guardian. Now, he has said Sheikh Jassim is waiting to hear back from the Glazers regarding his latest Manchester United offer. Now, this is something we knew was coming. We knew this definitely. It still hasn't been addressed. It still hasn't been confirmed whether that was accepted or not. So, according to the Daily Express, now this is brand new for you guys, things are expected to move fast if and when an offer is given the green light. So, where do we stand on that? That means basically, should the Glazers say, Sheikh Jassim, yes, we're going to take your bid, all of a sudden, things are going to move very, very quickly indeed. Lucky Singh has said Sheikh Jassim will make another bid. Just need news on Avram Glazer. Well, Avram Glazer will be at the match tomorrow. He is in London. Do expect some news. I think this will come very quickly after the match, potentially on Sunday, potentially next week. I think we will definitely have a bit of progress, something to be excited about. I know you guys are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it as well. This is something that's been going on for a very, very long time. From what, like October? Let's see some resolution. Let's see what is going to happen with Manchester United's takeover. Do I think that it's going to happen soon? Potentially not, but I think we will have progress. And progress, whilst it might be slow, is still important. We can see on the poll, you guys are saying 87% of you guys think we're going to win the FA Cup tomorrow. I hope so. I really, really would love to see it. And I'm sure you guys would as well. I am definitely feeling like I'm looking forward to tomorrow's match for the first time in a while, as we haven't played in quite a number of days, so it will be good to see United back in action one last time this season. Will be a very tough match, difficult team to play against, probably one of the best in the world, but we have to go on and win that match. There's no doubt in my mind. What we must do is go out, win that match tomorrow. We have to stop City winning the treble. We have to stop Pep Guardiola and that team from winning everything in football this year. Do I think we can do it? Absolutely. We beat them already this season. We've seen how we did it in that match. We can see Pape is in there as well, saying hi everyone. Hey man as well. Thank you very much for joining with us as always. Really do appreciate all the support from you guys. Support on the channel has been absolutely amazing, guys. Honestly, I appreciate every single one of you guys. So thank you very much for all the support over the last 7 or 8 months. Been absolutely incredible. Great journey with you guys. And the first season is in the bag tomorrow. And from there, it will be transfers. So I am definitely looking forward to you guys joining with me, because honestly, this is going to be a big summer. And as such, from about the middle of June, I am going to be doing daily live streams covering every single transfer news for Manchester United and the takeover, all of pre-season, watch-alongs, all the channel content, much more coming up for you guys. More people are joining in, so welcome to the stream and welcome to the channel, guys. If you are new, Mason Mount, good signing, but United need Casemiro type signings, says Papu. Yes, I do agree. I think big signings are what we need. Is Mount a massive signing? Is he going to come in and change the game? I don't think so. Could he be a very good player for us? I think he could be. I think he's a good signing, not a great signing. So that's what Papu has said, and I'm agreeing with you on that one. Of course, any more thoughts, get them into the comments. As always on the channel, I firmly believe in reading everyone's comments, engaging with you guys. That's what it's all about as well. I'd be happy with Mason Mount. You see you guys as well talking to each other. Fantastic community on the channel here. You guys absolutely unbelievable, especially over the last couple of weeks. The support has been amazing, and yeah, looking forward to bringing much more for all you guys. So let me just have a quick check at the agenda. There was still things we want to go through. So yes, something we did want to cover, and this is pretty much just a synopsis of what's happening. This is coming from Kieran Maguire on the takeover. So this is something we discussed in depth the other night, but just for anybody new, so Kieran Maguire, he is a football finance expert. He will look at what Qatar have to offer, look at what Radcliffe has to offer, and he, in his professional opinion, has says Qatar have a boost. Radcliffe has to sell assets or take loans as he does not have the cash in hand to pay the Glazers. Big advantage to Sheikh Jassim. If the Glazers are staying with his family in London again, and he has some money on hand, he could put in another offer. And that would be very good. That would be very interesting to see what happens. Next couple of days, next couple of weeks will be absolutely crucial for you guys and for Manchester United as a whole. New comment in there as well. I haven't seen you on the channel, I don't think, before, so if you are new, thank you very much for joining with us. That's coming from Abebe, I think. I'm very bad with names. Yes, you're good. Mount and Harry Kane, also Neymar and Sadio Mane. And Big T says, what's your FA Cup final routine gonna be? So going on the first comment there, some very good players in there, players I'd love to see us buy. Not too sure about Neymar. I think fantastic player. I don't know if it'll happen. Big T says, what will your pre-cup final be? In terms of a routine, I don't really have one. I do have my Lucky United shirt up there. It's actually the red one. I'm sure you guys can see it in the background. I will be putting it on. I was wearing that, I think, when we won the Carabao Cup. I wore that one of the matches I went to this season, and we won both matches, so that will be my routine. As well, Papa was saying, why United not going for Benzema? Worth every penny. United need experience like Benzema next season in the Champions League, and he could be just that. He's a natural goal scorer. And as well, Lucky Singh says, very crucial for us. We go forward on the takeover as much as we can. So thanks for all the comments. As always, guys, I think going back to Papu's point, it's a very interesting one. Benzema would be a fantastic short-term option. I think when we're looking at Rasmus Højlund as a potential United signing, I think someone like Benzema would be great to come in, learn off, and would take a lot of pressure off his back. And I think Benzema, there was talk of him going to Saudi Arabia, I think. I'm not sure if that's happening now, but I think an offer could be interesting. Talk, of course, that Real Madrid want to put in an offer for Harry Kane. Does that leave the door open for Karim Benzema to leave Madrid this summer? It could do, make no mistake about it. Now, Real Madrid, of course, as we know, those guys will go out and just buy players and keep who they have. They improve their squad every single season. The way they are run as a club is fantastic, and it's what United should be doing. It's what I want to see us do. All things considered, I do definitely think that Benzema will be a very good option for Manchester United. So, any more thoughts, guys? Keep getting them in. On the poll, we have 35 votes at the moment, and currently, looks like 89% of you guys are saying yes. Big T says Benzema for the next 12 months and Kane for free next season. That could be a dream, and it could be a reality. We've covered all week on the channel that Harry Kane, as much as United want him and as much as he would like to leave Spurs, Daniel Levy does not want Harry Kane to leave. He will not sell him. I'm very surprised at that. Daniel Levy, of course, a guy very good with his business, does tend to run things very smoothly. I don't know why he wouldn't sell Harry Kane. I think take the money, you're not going to get it. Lucky Singh says Hojlund and Vlahovic, that would be That could be so bad. Yes, absolutely. Brilliant partnership that could be. Hojlund, one of my favourite players in Serie A at the moment. I have watched bits of him this season. I want to watch more as well. I think the movement the kid has, the pace, the finishing ability, so natural in front of goal. He could be a really good option for us. So let me just get this into the chat for anybody new who is just joining us. So Rasmus Højlund, United have had video calls with him all week. This is according to Laurie Whitwell of Manchester of the Athletic and Samuel Luckhurst from Manchester Evening News. So, are United being run as a proper club? Are we doing things the right way? Potentially, we are. And that's a surprise. I'm sure you guys are as stunned as me that United are actually doing things the right way for once. I think Eric Ten Hag definitely has a big part to play in that. I think what he's coming out with, what he wants to do with his team, very commendable. Looking to bring younger players in, looking to do things with what he has. And I think that's a very smart plan. We have some very experienced winners now. We have Casemiro, we have Varane, who have won everything in football. Of course, De Gea has won a league title. Eriksen has won things in Italy with Inter Milan. If we bring in some young players, that's a very good mix between experienced winners and players who will definitely improve. Lucky Singh says he looks like a smart player to use. Yes, I think he would be a very smart signing. Papu says as well, to tell the truth, Kane doesn't have any other aim other than just breaking Shearer's record. It's a waste of time going for Kane. He will stay at Tottenham. Thank you very much for that. I think, whilst Kane is a very good player, I think you're right. His ambition seems to be breaking Alan Shearer's record, being the all-time Premier League top scorer. If he wanted to move, I think he would have by now. He's now a player at what, like 30? It's not that he's suddenly only become good. I mean, he has been one of the best strikers in the world for almost 10 years now. I think the ambition has to be questioned at some point. I know he went on strike looking to go to City, but that was the only time he actively wanted to leave Spurs. And I think Harry Kane will be a big reminder to players like Mason Mount, Declan Rice, do not sign really long-term contracts at clubs who you have no intention of staying there for a long time, because they will keep you. Wilfried Zaha is the perfect example of that. He signed a long-term deal at Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace always wanted extreme amounts of money for him, and he never got the big move he should have had. It should have worked at United for him, but it didn't. And I think that is a lesson to be learned. There are people joining in, so welcome to the stream and welcome to the channel, guys. Great to have you with us on this Friday evening, wherever you guys are. Thank you very much for joining us, as always. And we are running a poll in the comments. Who will win the FA Cup tomorrow? Will United win? Let me know. Simple yes or no. Get your thoughts in down below, as always. So yes, plenty more to get through on the show. We've gone through, of course, the agenda, what we wanted to cover. The main points are in the chat as well. If anybody has anything else they want to see covered on the show, please let me know down below. Floor is completely open. And as always, if you guys have any questions, get them in. The interaction is key on this channel. That's what we live for on the channel, and we always want to bring it to you guys. So if you want to ask about pizza toppings, or if you want to ask about transfers, the takeover, let me know down below, and I will answer all comments as best as possible for you guys, because there's a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot of people who will make things up for clout, for clicks. I try to bring you guys what I think is happening, what I think is real, and definitely just the way I want to run the channel, because we don't want to be sitting here with people making things up. We want to give you guys the truth, because otherwise I'm just wasting your guys' time. Comments are coming in. Papu says it's a shame Kane doesn't have any major silverware in his career compared to Mbappe. And Lucky Singh says Tottenham run horrible way right now. Yes, absolutely, they're run in a terrible way, and it is a shame for Harry Kane, such a fantastic player, hasn't won anything. And at some point you have to think, is this guy going to go his entire career without winning a major trophy? It's a real possibility. At his age, at 30, he's got 2 or 3 seasons at the very, very top, in my opinion. He's lucky in many ways. He didn't rely too much on pace, so that will not affect his game. He's never been quick, so he won't notice being a little bit slower as he ages, of course. But I do think he's certainly not a long-term option. I think Hojlund, that is a player for the long term. Possibly a season too early for him, but of course you're running the risk then of Atalanta in a season's time saying, we want 100 million for Hojlund, not 50 million. So I would rather us buy him early, get that development in. Eliminations in here. Good to see you back, man, on the channel. One of the OGs on the channel as well. How are you feel? How have you been? How are you feeling about tomorrow? I've been very good. Everything's going very well. Channel is going great. You guys are absolutely amazing as always. In terms of how I'm feeling for tomorrow, I'm feeling nervous. I'm not as confident as the chat that we will win. Of course, the poll is in there as well. 85% of you guys are saying yes to United winning the FA Cup tomorrow. I hope you're right. I would love it to come true. It will be a difficult match, make no mistake about it, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure you guys are as well. Daniel Levy's Lucky Singer says Daniel Levy's still interested in go-karts and renting a concert. I mean, Daniel Levy, for many years has been very difficult to deal with at Spurs. We know this for a fact. I mean, I remember we wanted Gareth Bale, we wanted Luka Modric from them. None of those transfers happened. We did get Berbatov, but that was it. I mean, Spurs have had some great players over the years, and Daniel Levy runs a hard ship. He runs a hard bargain, and it is difficult to buy Spurs players. Make no mistake about it. But what do I think? Do I think we will buy Harry Kane? I can't say at the moment. I think it would be brilliant for us, but it's whether or not it happens in the long term. So any more thoughts, guys, get them into the comments. Keep voting as well. And if you guys are new, please consider hitting that sub button. Helps me out so much and helps the community to grow. It's a brilliant community on the channel as always. So Happy says top English players to play in European leagues. It will help English football. The decision has to be taken by the players. Money doesn't always bring credibility. Yes, completely agree. I mean, Jude Bellingham is a fantastic example. I mean, he left Birmingham City, he went to Dortmund, and now he's going to Real Madrid for 100 million. He might never play in England despite being English, and does it matter? I don't think so. I mean, look at other countries. You're looking at Spanish players are all over the world, French players, Italians, Brazilians, Argentinians. So there is other countries who do very well off their players being from all around the world. Lucky Sings says, I thought he was a good owner for Tottenham. I think he's a good businessman. He's made Spurs a better team on the pitch through some of his decisions. I think they will never win anything big because he will not spend the money on them. And Nacanio says Harry has to make the difficult decision and push for the move. But according to Mirror Football, Harry isn't really pushing for the move. Daniel Levy at this point is being unreasonable. Yes, that definitely is a word we associate with Daniel Levy. An unreasonable man who wants unreasonable things. He wants over 100 million for Harry Kane. He wants to charge British teams more for buying Harry Kane than he would for, say, Real Madrid or PSG, somebody like that. How do we feel about that? I mean, I think he needs to look where his club are. I mean, if he doesn't want to sell us Harry Kane because he thinks we are a rival to Spurs. United are not a rival for Spurs. We are beyond Spurs. Spurs rivals, they're Brighton and Brentford and Fulham. It's not United, City, Liverpool, teams like that, not the top teams anyway. But that's just my thoughts. Any more thoughts, get them into the comments, guys, as always. And currently on the poll, 85% of you guys are saying that Man United will win the FA Cup. So any more thoughts, get them in down below. I want to go back over some of the takeover stuff because it is interesting, and I think we will hopefully get some news, some progression on it in the coming week. So of course, the Glazers are in London for the FA Cup final. We know this. Avram Glazer will be there, possibly Joel Glazer as well. That is, of course, the two Glazers with the most amount of shares, who own the most amount of United now. They don't typically come to matches. They'll go to a final, of course. They'll come and expense it, get some money for their time, of course, stay in a nice hotel. But they've been in London today. So, obviously, the match is tomorrow, but how long will they stay? That's what's going to be interesting for me. And I think if they're here for a long time, I think we definitely will see some movement on the sale. Of course, United's main offices, they're in London. Do expect them to be popping in there. I do expect some movement on the takeover. That's a gut feeling. That's going off what we know as well. So keep your eyes tuned for that, of course. Papu says, my FA Cup final score is Man United 2-1 against Man City. I would love that. I would take a 1-0. I would take a penalty win. Wayne Rooney, of course, United legend, says he thinks United are going to win in penalties. I would be surprised if that was the case, but anything could happen tomorrow. Lucky Singh says, shout Qatar in when they come to the stadium. They probably will. I think we've seen this at the Carabao Cup final. Of course, it was United fans with Qatari flags shouting Glazers out as well. I think the main thing for United fans at the moment, whilst we cannot decide who wins the takeover race, who buys the club, we can let the Glazers know they are not welcome. And I'm sure the fans will do that tomorrow. They will be booing, they will be singing Glazers out. I know that for a fact. And I think that will be good. We've seen it when Eric Ten Hag was doing his end of season speech. He was the crowd were singing Glazers out, and I do expect the same tomorrow. Even if we're lifting the cup, do expect some sort of a protest, a chant, anything to let the Glazers know they are not welcome. That's what the fans can do. That's what we can do online. We can spread the message, Glazers out. Ultimately, we do not have the money ourselves to buy the club. So we need someone to do it for us. And it could be Qatar, it could be Radcliffe. I think no matter who it is, it's a better owner than what we have. But I think you guys, I think as well, Qatar definitely seem to have more they can offer in the short term than Radcliffe. And it will be interesting to see where that goes. Avram Glazer there tomorrow says, Lucky Singh, yes, I believe he will be, according to the news, according to the rumours. Those guys turn up for cup finals because they go and get a nice fancy meal, stay in a fancy hotel, they put it on their Man United credit card and the club have to pay for it. Avram Glazer was in London for 2 days at the Women's FA Cup final, and he expensed £500,000. Those guys know how to make the most out of a small trip. Let's put it that way. Papa is saying, will Zidane become the coach of Real Madrid? He might do. Anything is possible in this game, and it would certainly be interesting. I would like to see where Zidane goes next. He could be the next France manager, of course. Lacano says Glazers have been cautious in terms of how they've been handling the terms of the takeover situation. I think it's because they do not want fans to send Glazers out and so forth. Could be, absolutely. Rajat says, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing good, man. How are you? Thank you for joining with us. Qatar in and no to Radcliffe as well from Rajat. Thank you very much for that, man. And yeah, I think most people on the channel would agree with you guys. Lucky Singh says Glazers not welcome. Right message has to stay the same. Yes, let them know they're not welcome. Let them know that United fans do not want them. I think whilst it might not have a big effect on the Glazers directly, of course, the first time they went to Old Trafford, they had to leave in a police van because fans were throwing bricks at them. I think it doesn't bother them directly, but what it does do, it makes media interest, it brings publicity to the Glazers out, and it could insensitize Sheikh Jassim or Radcliffe to go in with another bid, try to speed things up, and I think that is something that can happen. I think Qatar have done a good job at trying to bring the fans on side. I don't think Radcliffe has done the same. I don't think he's managed to win the hearts and minds. Whereas, of course, Qatar are talking big investment in players, a new stadium, facilities. I think that's trying to get the fans on side. Rajat says, does Qatar have to put in another bid? Currently, we do not know. And it's actually ironic because for a guy who has bid 5.5 billion, Sheikh Jassim doesn't know either. So this is coming from Jamie Jackson of The Guardian, and he has said Sheikh Jassim is still waiting to hear back from the Glazers whether his bid has been accepted or what is happening with it. That's not good. I mean, if you're bidding 5.5 billion for a football club, you'd like to think you would at least be told if it's been accepted or declined. Rajat says, can't let Chelsea get Ugarte and Caicedo. I do think we will buy one of those players. There was talk, of course, that Ugarte could come to United. That was coming from Portuguese sources yesterday. Will be interesting to see how that develops. A very good player. Moses Caicedo, really good player. Would love him at United. It does sting a little bit when we think that we could have bought him for, what, like 5 million under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We didn't. And if we want him, we're going to have to pay like £80 million. So that is unfortunate, but things do happen in football. Things do happen with United. Strange things. Big T says protesting could backfire. They could give us the opposite of what they want out of spite. I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think the thing that will talk most to those guys is money. And I think if Qatar offer enough money, they will accept it. I think it's because Radcliffe's valuation is 3 billion for 50 percent, so that would mean 6 billion overall. I think Qatar would have to offer that much if they want to buy the club. And Papu says, issue going on with the Glazers. Why United was sold to them in the first place. This issue shouldn't have arisen if we weren't sold to the Glazers. And Rajat says 100% of the club go. Yes, do agree with you 100%. Get rid of the Glazers completely. And it's a very interesting story from Papu Daz. I don't know if you guys know, but it actually came because of Sir Alex Ferguson and a racehorse. It was a very long, complicated story. Basically, what happened was Ferguson and the then owner, Martin Edwards, fell out over a racehorse because Ferguson thought he owned it, Edwards thought he owned it. And what happened was they went to court. Edwards sold his shares to the Glazers. The Glazers brought up the rest of the club and then put the club on the stock exchange. And the rest was history. That's a very condensed version of it. The full version is online if you guys want to check that out as well. But it was something so stupid, and it all came from a horse. So yeah, so that is your interesting fact of the day. Any more thoughts? Get them into the comments. If you guys have any questions at all, even if it isn't football related, let me know in the comments. We are here to interact as a community. Love the interaction between you guys. Honestly, really does make me very, very happy and proud of everything that we've accomplished on the channel so far. And we are not stopping here. We want to bring you guys more and more content. And I said it earlier on the stream, we are planning, I am planning personally, from the middle of June right through to the end of the transfer window, daily live streams, as much videos as possible, lots and lots coming up, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider hitting that sub button as well. Helps me out, helps grow the community, and it is a really good community on the channel. You guys are always in the chat, always talking with each other. It's great to see the support on the channel, on every video, every live, so thank you very much for that. In terms of latest news, let me just have a quick check if there's anything latest I can bring you guys. Erik ten Hag was speaking to the media earlier in his pre-FA Cup final press conference, and there was some interesting quotes came out from it. Let me see if I can get those up for you guys really quickly here as well. Big T, he says could be worse, could be owned by Sky. I mean, yeah, it's Sky, like, oh man. Sky is such an interesting case. Those guys used to be cutting edge for everything. Transfer news, their content, their channels was not great. Is not great now. Like, it really has gone downhill. It's just charging ridiculous amounts of money. So Jason Burt of The Telegraph, quite a reliable journalist, has been speaking about transfers. I'm sure this will interest you guys. So he has been saying Ten Hag wants a goalkeeper and a top-line striker and potentially even another forward. That would be interesting for me. I would love to see more players brought in. Apologies for that. I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts on that one. I personally think striker has to come in. I think Erik ten Hag will bring in a goalkeeper. He will want competition. With Jack Butland going to Rangers, with Tom Heaton at 38, we do not have a second choice goalkeeper. Papu says, who will win the Ashes this time, England or Australia? Your thoughts? My bet is England. Honestly, I'm really not a cricket fan. So I couldn't answer that with certainty. I don't know. I'll go England, I guess. I might be really wrong on that. If anybody does know cricket well, am I completely wrong in that? So Jason Burt, his article contains a lot of United transfer rumours. Some very interesting stuff on here. So he has said, United leading the pursuit of Chelsea's Mason Mount. Personal terms are not an issue, but a fee is yet to be agreed. So that's interesting as well. Let me just double check this for you guys. Lucky Singh says, as an England fan, I hope we play youngsters for us. I was just talking about the cricket. Yeah, but it's good to see you guys liking different sports as well. Cricket's not my favorite. I do like other sports, but if I like the boxing, I like the rugby and stuff. Wouldn't be a cricket fan in general. But so United leading the race for Chelsea's Mason Mount. Personal terms are not an issue, but a fee is yet to be agreed, according to Jason Burt, a very reliable journalist and someone we definitely take notice when he speaks as well. Lacanio says, what do you think about Raya from Brentford? I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I think could be a smart signing. It all depends on how much Brentford want for him. They want 40 million. I think that's too much. This is a guy, of course, he's what, 27, 28 now, coming into his best years as a keeper. I think with a year left in his contract, you're probably looking at 20, 25 million. I think that will be a really good offer. It gives you two very different goalkeepers and we can see who works better in the long term. Big T says, I don't follow cricket either. Has Ireland got a cricket team? They do have a cricket team. I don't think they're particularly good. It's definitely not the most popular sport in Ireland. There's probably obviously football ahead of it, rugby, GAA as well. So that's like, for anybody who doesn't know or isn't from Ireland, that's like traditional Irish games. It's like there's a variation of football. There's hurling as well, but cricket definitely not the most popular in Ireland. But Eric Ten Hag is pushing, so this is something I do think is very important to note, and I'm sure you guys are very keenly aware of this. A lot of transfer news, and this is something you guys have been posting about in the comments all day, and that is that we are we seem to be moving well as a club, and Eric Ten Hag, he is pushing for more players. He is pushing to do things early because he wants that sort of collective team spirit. He wants those guys in for pre-season, and that's nothing but a good thing. We don't want to be buying players late in the window. We want to be buying players early, get them in for pre-season, and let's see where we can go with that. Plenty of people joining in. Welcome to the stream, guys, if you are new as well. If you guys want to let me know, how is tomorrow's match going down? Will United win the FA Cup? Get your thoughts in on the poll. At the moment, 88% of you guys are saying United will win the FA Cup tomorrow. Poppy says, what's your favourite position in rugby? I used to play wing during school years. Yeah, man, honestly, I never really played too much in terms of rugby. I definitely always loved watching it, especially at the minute. Ireland playing very, very well and winning the Six Nations. So that was good for me. But yeah, like I never really played too much rugby. I have injured both my shoulders very badly in the past. So high contact sport wasn't really my thing. I did play football for a lot of years. I played goalkeeper and then I played right back, if you guys aren't wondering. Lucky Singh says, glad the management team are asking the board to act fast. Yes, me too. I think we have to be quick. We know we are not working with a big budget. Things are uncertain with the takeover, but we have to be quick. We see Arsenal going to buy Declan Rice. We see Liverpool getting McAllister. We see City active in the market. Newcastle very active. Have to go and be smart. Big T says Sir Jim could get us Casper Schmeichel from Nice. I mean, he can do. I think it's interesting to note that they're selling their best player to Liverpool. A lot of people weren't happy with that. Lacanio says we need a goalkeeper. He is at least as good as De Gea. Obviously good with his feet, distribution and so forth. Someone like Sanchez or Diogo Costa, who is 23. Yes, I would love Diogo Costa, but it comes down to money. If he's going to be 75 million, I think he comes in and starts. If we buy Raya, I think potentially David De Gea could still be number one. I think it'll all come down to that. How much money we have to spend this summer will be big. But do expect a big window. I expect 200 million spent this year. That's what I expect. Plus sales as well. Pappy says, I remember Johnny Wilkinson winner when England won the Rugby World Cup. Yeah, that's a bit of a throwback as well, man. Yeah, Johnny Wilkinson, fantastic rugby player. As well. So thank you very much for that, guys, as well. Any more thoughts, get them into the comments as always. Let me see what Eric Ten Hag has been saying in his press conference today as well. Obviously, there's a big interview out from Casemiro. Not going to go through all the quotes, but he has says, Bruno Fernandes helped me a lot. He was always great with me. He taught me a lot about the club. I have a very good relationship with him. He's a brilliant player. So Casemiro appreciating Bruno Fernandes for sure. Let me double check and see what Eric Ten Hag has been saying, because there is always interesting things in his press conferences. So, in terms of Anthony, he has said that it is very unlikely that he plays tomorrow. Not impossible, but it is unlikely. So, that is a little bit frustrating. He did say, of course, in our last match that Anthony would be ready for the cup final. Now he's seemingly not, so that is disappointing. On Anthony Martial, Eric Ten Hag has said, so many times from the media about the absence of players in the last couple of months. Every time I say the same answer, it's about the players who are available, and we have to be successful regardless. So I do agree with that as well. Let's see. Lucky Singh has been speaking as well. And he has said a lot of footballers like golf, which surprises me. Yeah, I mean, Gareth Bale very famously loves his golf. Player who held up a sign one time saying Wales, golf, Real Madrid in that order. Let's see, Lipstick Movies is in there as well. The reason the Glazers are not making a decision about the club is because they're not selling and do not want protests at Wembley. That's coming from Thomas Zeliakis, one of the bidders. Interesting take on that one. I have always feared that they might not sell. I think we are very deep in this process. I would be surprised if we didn't get sold. Thomas Zeliakis, an interesting guy. He had a very interesting proposal. I don't think it was ever going to work, but his idea to have fan ownership of 50% of the club, definitely a very romantic idea. And I think that would have been a dream scenario. I don't think it's realistic, but it is interesting to hear from guys who have been in and around the takeover stuff, because they will be in the know. They will know what the negotiations are like, what is being said from the Glazers. So it is important to listen to guys like that, because we are not clued in on the negotiations. Unfortunately, we do not have a United fan representative on the board who can make statements and stuff. We would like that in future. We haven't quite got there yet. So Eric Ten Hag says we have a very good squad, and from the good team, and from a good squad we make a good team. So hopefully we will get that tomorrow. I do hope that we have a very good match. So Ten Hag is saying as well, big press conference today, you can't set conclusions on the basis of one game. Therefore, you need more. Already we've made the evaluations. I've made my evaluations, but nevertheless, it's a good test on Saturday. So that, of course, is about transfers. Eric Ten Hag has said that he's basically telling us there he has his transfer wish list made. He knows who he wants. He knows what he wants to buy. Lucky Singh says he was talking about football fan ownership. Didn't get his bid. Yeah, I think what it was that he was going to pay 3 billion, and he wanted United fans to raise the other 3 billion to buy the club. I mean, that's very, very very unlikely. I mean, I know United have a lot of fans, but where are we going to get 3 billion from? That's crazy money. Like Papu says, do you think the number of teams extended in the Euro Cup is good for the competition? Is this about the Champions League? I don't think we need more teams in it. It's already a big competition. The group stages are something that could be axed very soon. There will be big changes to the format, so it will be interesting to see how that goes. I do think that it will be interesting, and hopefully United will be in it. Hopefully we will continue to be qualifying for Champions League at a very minimum. I think we set the standards this season. Let's improve upon that. Let's see how far United can go in European football next year. It will be a good test. It will be exciting, and I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it as well. So, Eric Ten Hag once more has said on winning the trophy. We want to win a trophy and win the cup. It's not about stopping them. It's about winning the cup. It's a great opportunity. It's great that we deserve this chance to be in a cup final and meet Man City. We fought hard for it, and we will fight hard tomorrow. Hopefully we get that. We've seen this last year. I mean, we've seen this so many times this season where our players haven't turned up in big matches. Been questions of desire, of passion. We don't want that tomorrow. We want, for sure, to be saying that we went out and tried our best, worked hard regardless of what happens. Papu says next year in Germany. I think European Championships. It is strange because to me the European Championships were like a year ahead because of COVID. It was like pushed back a year. It will be interesting. I'm looking forward to the Euros. Always a great competition. I'm sure we will bring you guys some content, some watch-alongs for that stuff next year on the channel. But with that in mind, I will say one thing, guys. We are planning a big expansion across the summer. Really big changes coming. National leagues are useless according to Genoa. Euro 2024 host Germany, says Papa Daz as well. So yeah, that is good to know. I actually couldn't remember where the competition was. Nation League, yeah, I'm not a fan of it. It is just friendly matches. But in terms of what we are bringing you guys on the channel, I want to be doing a lot of live streams and a lot of content over summer. Transfer window, it is always massive, so I am going to be doing from about the middle of June a daily live stream covering all of the transfer news. Every single day we will be on here going through what is right, what is wrong, what is made up, and what might be true. So make sure you stay tuned for all that. If you guys want to hit that sub button, helps me out so much as well. Stephanie says first domestic cup double incoming after near misses in 83 and 94. Could be. I mean, Liverpool had a trophy parade for this last season. We could have the same. Big T says, I wonder if Kane will be at Wembley watching. He probably will. England captain. He'll probably have a nice comfy seat up in the stands, and maybe we will talk to him after the match. That will be interesting to see, of course. Any more thoughts, guys? Keep getting them into the comments. And as well, the poll, 86% of you guys are saying we're going to win the FA Cup tomorrow. I love the confidence. I love the optimism. I hope that you guys are right. I would love us to win that match tomorrow. Any more thoughts? Please, please, please get them in as well, guys. Thank you very much for all the support. And yeah, we'll keep going here. I think laptop running all right. Stream's going okay. We had an audio issue earlier, so I do apologize for that. But we are back fully on board with the stream, and yeah, I mean, really positive stuff coming through from United to be run effectively, to be working hard in the transfer window. That's what we want to see as fans. We want to see that progression at the club, where we start to be run as a good team, run as a smart club, know what we're doing in the windows, go out and have a good transfer window, improve this team, give Erik ten Hag the tools he needs to make us better. Jinwes says, honestly, Spurs lose nothing no matter what with Kane. And Lucky Singh says, I can't wait for the Olympics as well. Actually forgot the Olympics were coming up as well, so I am excited for that. Olympics always very good, man. And yes, Spurs do lose no matter what. What they have to do, Jinwei, is take the money. Like, he's going to walk away for nothing. You have a new manager coming in. If you sell Harry Kane, that's 100 million. You give your manager a chance. If they keep Harry Kane, they might finish 7th instead of finishing like 10th. That's the only difference. What business do you think we should do in January, says Big T? I'm not sure what we can do in January. I think a lot will depend on what happens in this transfer window. But make no mistake about it, if we have a new owner coming in, if it's Qatar or Radcliffe, we could spend in January. It's something we haven't done. Something we haven't done in a long time. Glazers, they don't seem to want to spend money in January. Erik ten Hag says everybody around us strengthened in January. We did not. So I think that's important that we go out and invest. Lacano says the fact that Erik ten Hag says I need more signings a few days ago was a statement to the Glazers. I cannot imagine Erik ten Hag leaving just because the Glazers are greedy and not caring about the soul of the club. And Papi says, what's the attendance capacity for Wembley after renovation? I think the capacity is around 100,000 in Wembley. Of course, there will be dignitaries, so expect around 30,000 fans of each team to be there, and a lot of dignitaries being there. So, like, all the clubs will get tickets, or the FA will have tickets and stuff. It is always a bit of a shame. We want as much fans in the ground as possible. We don't always get that. In terms of what Lacano was saying, yes, I don't think Erik ten Hag will walk. I think he definitely loves this football club. He wants to bring us back. It all depends on what he gets given. I think simply if he is given the tools to succeed, he can succeed in this. We have a very good manager. He knows what he wants to do with his teams. Stephanie says, winning this 2-1 team of 77, stopping the Scousers, completing the treble, and preserving our treble with goals from Rashi and Viva Garnacho. I would love to see it. I mean, Garnacho winner tomorrow would be unbelievable. Lucky Singh says, I like Steve McLaren and Ten Hag. United to get more. Yes, very good coaching staff. Ten Hag, of course. Steve McLaren, experienced. Mitchell van der Gaag, fantastic coach as well. Lipstick maybe says, I hope this is the most boring game ever and we don't get stuffed. 1-0 United will do just fine. Yes, I would definitely take a boring 1-0 tomorrow. No question about it. So long as we win, that's all that matters. Lucky Singh says, I hope Ten Hag gets the backing he deserves. I hope so too. Give the man what he needs, and I think we can move forward as a team, improve on the pitch, and challenge for big trophies. It's something we've said all season long. If we go and get a striker and we fill out the rest of the team, maybe another midfielder, another centre-back, possibly another goalkeeper as well, we can compete for big trophies. Give Erik ten Hag what he needs to succeed, and I back that man. I believe in him, and this season, I think he's won me over, and I think I'm very, very excited to see what he can do with another transfer window, more players. Veghorst winner would create scenes, says Big T. Honestly, could you imagine if Veghorst scores the winner tomorrow after not being able to score nearly all season with United? What's he got, 2 goals? That could be unbelievable. Like, a big winner from Wout Veghorst would be insane. Absolutely unbelievable if it happened. I think regardless, I mean, Wout Veghorst has been a vibe, he's been a mood, he hasn't been a great player for us, but I mean, he's passionate, we can see how much he cares about the club, and his celebrations are great. We remember him from the Carabao Cup final, absolutely covered in United flags, scarves. Let's do the same tomorrow. Let's see United win that trophy. Give Weghorst another trophy for his career. Any more thoughts, guys? Keep getting them in. Anything at all, doesn't even have to be football related. I think the other night Big T was asking questions about pineapple belonging on pizza. So anybody, any more random thoughts, get them in, guys. And of course, I'm always happy to chat with you guys, of course, as well. If you guys have any questions, fire them in. Lucky Singh says, would be crazy if Weghorst scored. Would be crazy, man. I think I would go absolutely bananas. I think Weghorst would have a better chance at scoring if he tried to miss the target. Maybe then it will go in. What do you think of Tom Cruise's next Mission Impossible movie? It's one of the biggest budget movies coming up in 2 parts. Says Pappy. That's what we love. We love just any interaction from you guys. I do like the Mission Impossible movies. I haven't seen them all. I think the first one I seen was like Ghost Recon, or I think Ghost Recoil, something like that. It was a good film. I saw the last one. It was very good. So yeah, I mean, if it's coming out, I'll definitely go see it. I'm looking forward to a lot of things coming out. Definitely, Oppenheimer will be a great film coming out as well. Mags on top says, "Come on, City." Yeah, I mean, fair, fair enough, man. I definitely hope City lose, and I would love to see us do the double at Wembley. Speak properly, says Mags on top as well. It is just my accent, man. I'm Irish, so that is just that. I mean, everyone's got an accent. There's Newcastle accents as well. I'm sure you guys know if you are a Newcastle fan. But this is just how I talk, so I'm not gonna change that. Mags, what is it like down there in Forth? Says Big T. It is good to see some banter. It is always great to have different people in the chat. It is an open community. You guys get your thoughts in. Lacanio says, a fun poll. Who would like to see Avram Glazer facing Daniel Levy for Harry Kane? If Avram wins, we get Kane cheap. That, I mean, Avram Glazer would probably just lie down. He would want to spite the club, man. Stephanie says, Veggie, what? I can't even speak. I cannot speak. Veggie Wembley winner would be amazing. Just another trophy for United would be amazing. I'm not sure how the trophies are working. I don't know if United win this. Do we go ahead of Liverpool again? I'm not sure. I know those guys do kind of charity shields and like things like that to try boost their numbers up. Lucky Singh says, great seeing City fans. Yeah, there's not a lot of them at all. It is funny though. Great seeing City fans here as well. Yeah, it's good to see other people on the channel. Like, it is an open channel. It isn't just all about United. All views are welcome as always. In terms of City fans, like, I know people do say there's not a lot of them. My next door neighbor has been a lifelong City fan. So I'm hoping that United win tomorrow, so it won't be I won't be getting bantered going to my car. That's what we're hoping for on that one. Other news, let me just quickly check for you guys. I can see more comments flying in there as well. Pappy says, how about Alan Shearer being ref in Newcastle United's opener? Let me see what's coming out from United at the moment. There's usually news comes out at 9 o'clock, so I will try to bring that for you guys. Let me see what we have. Stephanie says level or one behind Liverpool. I think, yeah, I'm hoping we can close the gap or go level with them tomorrow. Let's see what has been said. Casemiro has been speaking. So Casemiro has says, I believe we're picking up on the mentality of the manager and how he wants us to play. So that's good. There was, of course, concerns this time last season that Erik ten Hag would be too much for these players. We've seen them throw players and managers under the bus alike, so it's good to see they're backing Erik ten Hag. He seems popular. The players want to play for him. Mags on top is saying, Man United fan base 50% Irish, the other 50 Cockney. Support your local man. My local is Glenavon in the Northern Irish Premier League. I've always supported United. I mean, like, my dad has always supported United, my granddad, so it is a family thing. I'm not a glory hunter. Family has been supporting United from the from the 1950s. Yeah, let's see. Our fan says, hey United win the FA Cup. Yeah, man, I hope so, man. It's good to see you back on the channel. Any more thoughts? Get them into the comments, guys. We will stay live for another little bit as well. If anybody is new and they want to consider helping the channel out and staying tuned for everything coming up, please consider hitting that sub button as well. Support is absolutely incredible from you guys, as always. Big T says Mags is a Macam and a Paris. Oh man, yeah, it is something you do get when doing YouTube. We always get guys in here, bantering. We've had Liverpool fans in, we've had Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans. It is how it is. It's an open channel. I'm not going to ban anybody just because they support somebody else. So it is good to see you guys bantering and having a bit of crack in the comments. Any more thoughts, guys? Get them in. Keep voting on the poll. Ashade says, "What's your score prediction?" Score prediction is an interesting one. Very hard to predict. You know, I mean, we could be out of the match by half time. We could win the match 1-0. I think City will score. I'm an optimistic guy, probably blindly optimistic. I'm biased, but I'm gonna go 2-1. 2-1. I think Hojlund will score for City. I'm gonna go for Rashford getting one on the break, and then, you know what? Let's be having it. Let's go Jadon Sancho winner against City in the cup final. Let's go for it. Lacanu says, Mags, we get it just because your jersey Magic 4 doesn't mean your bonds are carries 13 league titles. Joe Willock owns your club. Okay. Ashade says 2-1 to United as well. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I mean, it was the score in the last match. Let's hope for something similar in this one. Any more thoughts, guys? Get them into the comments as well. Let me just check this. Lacanu going 2-1 as well. How's Kevin Keegan these days? Has he calmed down? I mean, there's a reference and a half there from Big T. Yeah, I would love it if we beat them. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I would love it if we win tomorrow. So that will just about wrap the stream up, guys. Anybody who does want to, please consider helping us out on the channel and helping us grow. Please consider hitting that sub button. I'm going to leave the stream here, guys. We've been going for an hour 20. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. And hopefully we win tomorrow.